to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pony drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message at the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Wan Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 783 of the Trinity Force podcast. I am your host, N.A. Eric, and tonight we're going to be talking some World's initial impressions and crystal ball and stuff since it started today. We're filming this on the 29th, so, or I guess recording this on the 29th. But, yep, and we have a great group. We have John, Fenrir, and Bomo. And we're excited to talk Worlds. But before we get into the topic that we're here to talk about and what's at the top of everyone's mind amid all the delays that they've had and issues with production, how's everyone doing? Bomo, you doing good?
I am upset because I wasn't able to get finals tickets. Riot, please do something about all these scalpers, but we'll see. I'll give it a couple weeks maybe and just keep monitoring the price, see if it goes down. But what should have been $130 ticket are selling for like a little over $1,000 right now. So
Oh my god.
yeah, the bots are out of control. So hopefully they normalize. But yeah, I am upset and I really want to go to finals. I have my flight and hotel booked already, so I'm gonna go regardless. It's just if I can get a ticket for the actual event.
Gotcha. Jesus Christ, that's because I was looking at semifinals tickets and I didn't end up booking those. But they didn't increase like that after. I mean, I got on the pre-register to be able to buy one ticket, and it was $50. They were selling it from the site, and then afterwards it jumped up to like 100, 120 in the afterhand market, like a few days later. But I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that it's double the price. Something. I'm surprised that your tickets are fucking grand. That's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm hoping it goes down because I think there was a spike. I think they were like 300-400 at one point for semis, but now they're about $70. So I am hoping that it goes down by the time. So I don't know if I just play the waiting game in terms of waiting for the price to go down, but I think there's some of us in the community who are looking to do like a viewing party to get set up because all of us have already bought in flights and hotels.
Yeah.
So we were gonna try to rent out a theater or some venue to do like a giant watch party in SF. So if you're interested, hit us up and then we'll see if you can come and hang out with us too.
Yeah, for sure. That would be awesome if a group could get together. I would totally join that remotely or something, or watch at the same time. But yeah, I won't be traveling for Worlds this year. But okay, cool. Cool. Everything else going well, Bomo? You almost 100% back to normal from COVID?
Yeah, if I have like long monologues, I'll start coughing a little bit, but right now it seems pretty good right now. Almost back to normal, working out again and not too bad.
Nice. Glad to hear it, man. Fenrir, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Cool.
Just working, playing some solo queue.
Nice. Gotcha. Did you? I assume you've been watching all the world stuff as well today, or as much
Yeah.
as you can, because work during the day, because it started at like 3 our time.
Yeah, I've been listening to it on Twitch. I can't really watch it. I just kind of put my phone in my pocket and
Gotcha.
listen to it.
Okay. Well, you probably did. I mean, you didn't miss that much because all the games have had so many delays. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. John, you doing well?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Got the rest of this week off because of the hurricane, so I had to get out of town. Did that.
Are you?
And,
Are you worried about your residence being flooded at all? Is that something that could happen for your area?
no, I wouldn't. Not about my place. My place is like pretty high up.
Okay.
So it would have to be if it was if it got into my house, I would be worried about more than just my house. I think it would be like the whole city is just like underwater.
Oh man.
But yeah, it gets when the rainfall is pretty heavy there. It's super bad. The flooding is pretty wild. Like people just like kayak, and even like I've seen people jet ski in the middle of downtown because there's so much water and the drainage is not great.
Jesus, that's like some of the shit. Like I could just imagine. That sounds like watching footage of some of the floods that happened in Pakistan a couple months ago. Yikes! I mean, not as bad, but along the same
Yeah,
vein.
yeah, but in the next like 2 days, I think there's supposed to be like 5 to 7 inches of rain. So
Jeez. I saw that parts of central and western Florida were supposed to get like upward, like uh, up to like 30 inches of rain in a single day with this. That's absurd.
yeah,
God.
it's like because we've had it like where it's been up to like people's like door handles of their car before.
Phew. That's crazy to me. Well, yeah, but okay. Well, I hope your place doesn't get damaged or like there's not too much damage around it. And for anyone that is in the path of Hurricane Ian, please stay safe and listen to your local authorities. Yeah, but yeah, we hope it's not too damaging. Um, Although it probably seems like it's already going to be. But yeah, otherwise I'm doing well. It looks like I'll be getting a nice raise at work, which is good. Now I'm closer to being paid what I believe my work is worth, but um, getting there for sure. So other than that, just been watching Worlds and had to finally got around to my landlord at the office space that I rent to turn on the heat because the boilers are turned off and were turned off, and it was like I would wake up and it'd be we got some frost warnings in the Twin Cities, so it's been people have been covering their plants and stuff. It's been freezing overnight, so yeah, we're getting in towards the cold weather. Um, but yeah, I haven't played that much League lately. Just been absolutely hammered with this data request at work, which finally just wrapped up today. It's been going on for like a week and a half, so I haven't really put much time into League at all. I played some EU4 just to chill and play some single player stuff and play some Far Cry. But now that that's done, uh, and the Worlds has started. Now I'm feeling the League bug again, which is great. So yeah. So let's talk League, guys. I guess before then, we're gonna pose a new um, question of the week, and it is what is your spiciest crystal ball pick'em? So we'll go through what all of ours are as we're going through, but we'd like to hear about what everyone's crystal ball pick'ems are like. What's your spiciest one? If you were able to lock them in beforehand, because you might be like our friend John here and forget to lock them in, or just
While escaping a hurricane.
yeah, that sounds like an excuse to me.
Okay.
Come on, but yeah. So, gentlemen, let's just run through these. So, who will be picked the most during Champ Select at Worlds? Boma, what'd you write down for that one?
MF.
Okay, that makes sense. I get that. Fenrir, what'd you put?
I put Sejuani.
Sejuani. Okay, I think she has 100% presence so far. Okay, John, what would you have put for most picked?
Mm,
I put Nar.
I mean, I probably would have said like Misfortune or maybe Caitlyn, maybe.
Okay. Um, yeah, I was thinking some of those as well, but I thought that they would be. I didn't think Caitlyn would be having as much presence as she is. I didn't correctly read that, and I thought that also like MF would be banned more often, so she's not gonna be the most picked. Like it's like you have to play that dance of what's something that's gonna be played the whole tournament, including play-ins, and is gonna be not too powerful to be banned, but be powerful enough that teams feel like they need to pick it.
Yep.
And be stable and shit. So like I thought about the ADC pool. I was like, oh, maybe I'll put Silas here, but I ended up going with Nar. But yeah, why Sejuani, Fenrir?
I think because she was getting played a lot, like especially in the postseason in a lot of different regions,
Hmm.
and a lot of the champions around her got nerfs, and she didn't get nerfed. So I just think she's still like a stable, and she can play a little bit of a forecast, but I think it should be she can be played in three different lanes.
True.
So
And
she's a good flex pick.
yeah, and we've seen her in jungle so far, and she's been banned. I don't think she's played top yet, and maybe she'll go support. We'll see, but that hasn't come out yet. But yeah. Okay, cool. So next one, who will be banned the most during Champ Select at Worlds? I'll start the inverse there. John, what would you put for that?
Maybe Aatrox.
Okay, gotcha. I put Yumi will be banned the most.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think she has a 100% ban rate so far. Not
I
sure.
also put Yumi too.
Nice. Fender, what'd you
That
put?
makes a lot of sense.
Misfortune.
Misfortune. Okay, gotcha. These all seem to make pretty much sense. Yeah. Okay. This one I think we will have wildly different answers. Who will have the highest win rate at Worlds with a minimum of 5 games played? Because otherwise, I was thinking like picking Zillion or Singed or something, but has to have 5 games played. I don't think that they'll reach that threshold. So, Bomo, what'd you do for that one and why?
Zillion. Because he can be played mid and support, and there's like a bunch of Zillion players. Like T1 support plays Zillion, Jensen plays Zillion, and so I feel like you have like these speed ups on champions, and it could be a pretty good counter to a lot of these like enchanter supports, I think, and so you can match them that way. But yeah, I mean, if you just prevent your team from dying, then ideally you can prevent yourself from dying. So that's the only reason I have the highest win rate is you're just making sure that your team just doesn't die, so you win.
That makes sense. Did you get? I don't know if you guys were listening at the time, but someone, when they were dealing with audio issues, they were talking about. I think in Champions Queue, someone played against. I think it was Armut played against someone playing Ornn, and he went Zillion top with Tier Cull and just shoved the wave, and they couldn't do anything to him top. So that would be wild if we see some shit like that.
Yeah, Zillion top, my goodness. Like
Yeah.
you just can't get on him. And so having an ultimate that just keeps your teammates from dying. If you put Zillion mid and pair with a Renata support, then your team is just fighting through everything and not dying.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think if Zillion does have the highest win rate, our very own Mentally Zill will be thrilled about that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fenrir, what'd you put for this one?
I put Jace.
Okay. Do you think he'll get a lot of play, or are you thinking he'll just get over the cusp?
I think he'll get like 5 or 8 games somewhere
Do you
in
think
there.
it's mainly the Chinese teams pulling him out like Jace top
Yeah.
and just smashing?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
It's gonna be like 369, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean all the other LPL top players, they love this champion, and they got a little bit of buffs, and they just, I don't know, they just want to style on everybody, so I can see them, especially if
Yeah.
it like go to a top lane meta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same thing because I think you have to do all your Pick-Ems or crystal ball Pick-Ems around RNG because I think
Yeah.
they'll go the furthest and play the most games. So you have to kind of figure out what they're gonna play essentially and kind of build around that. And so I think that makes a lot of sense playing the Jace for the highest win rate.
Yeah. I think also like personally the best Jace I've ever seen is Zeus, and I'm sure, and he loves to pick that when it's in the meta. So yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Korean Jaces are cracked across the board. Although, like Doran's
I would
not
say
gonna,
all Eastern Jaces.
not Doran.
Except
Doran
Doran.
can't. Yeah,
Except
Doran can't
Doran.
plan. No, he'll be on Ornn duty, or like maybe they'll be spicy
Yeah.
and give him Aatrox or something. But no, he won't be
But
playing
that's still
Jace.
one
he's a-
player out of 8 other top laners. So you have 7 other top laners who can play Jace.
But if you
He's Doran's
depending
shield, not Doran's.
depending on which top laner Damwon runs, like Nuggery
Yeah.
can play a great Jace, but Birdall, no, you don't give him his Jace is not good. They're not going to put him on it.
Mhm.
He has other carries, but not him. Yeah, and
sure.
I mean, who's the top lane for DRX? I can't even think right now. I can't even think of who it is, but I don't know. They're not a Jace player either. Like Korea doesn't have not many good top laners are in Korea right now, so it's mostly going to be like the Chinese teams and T1.
It's Kengan.
Oh
Kengan.
yeah, Kangen. Yeah, he's okay at that. He's much better at the bruisers, and he plays a fantastic Ornn as well. So yeah, okay. John, who would you have put in this one?
I mean, yeah, I mean, with Fenrir said, I mean, Jace makes a lot of sense. I think maybe Victor.
Okay. Solid. I think he'll get a good amount of play.
Yeah, I think he'll like not get banned too much, so he'll see play. I'd say Victor.
Yeah, he's already been played today by Fnatic played him, I think. Humanoid
There's
played
some
it
good
already.
Victor players, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. I put Azir just because I thought that Eastern teams love Azir and they're better than Western teams at Azir for sure. But I also thought that his nerf would have been enough that some people, unless they're really good at him, would drop him. And I mean, so far it's not working out great because I think Azir's 0-1 today, but against Victor. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think it was against Victor. No, it wasn't against Victor. Who was it? It
was
was
against Silas.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this one I think will also have some pretty different answers. Who will be played in the most different roles at Worlds? What champion will? Fenrir, what'd you put here?
I put Sejuani. I really wanted to put Seraphine, but I'm not sure how Riot is incorporating in different roles because, like, to me, Seraphine can be played mid, bot, and support. And so I don't know, but if you pick her bot lane, she's going to be the carry, whether you pick her support or AD carry. Most of the time, you can play her as a true support, but I don't know, like, if a support player picks her, but plays her carry, is she still considered a support?
I would think it would be something like if you picked Senna Seraphine, right, and then the support player
Yeah.
plays the Seraphine, I would think it just depends on which person in the roster picks it, as I bet how they do that.
Yeah.
So I actually put Seraphine, so that's a good guess. I mean, we've already seen her ADC. I don't know if like the game that's currently going on, I don't have it looking, but I think we'll definitely see her mid, and we'll definitely see her support. I would say totally see like a Seraphine Caitlyn lane. That sounds super likely. Okay, gotcha. Boma, what'd you put?
So we didn't talk about this at all. I also put Sejuani. I think she can be played in multiple roles. So yeah, I also put Sedge.
Do you guys think we'll see Sejuani support this tournament though?
I think so. So for my thinking is you can play Sejuani support almost like an engage, or you can pair it with like a melee type champion. So you could play like Yasuo with Sejuani bot lane. And I think some of these bot laners are pretty cracked and are willing to just like hand check a bunch of people. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see like Yasuo bot lane and Samira bot lane, those types of bot laners who can synergize really well with Sejuani. But yeah, support, jungle, and top are my picks and what I was thinking.
Okay, gotcha. John, what are you thinking on this one?
Zillion.
Really? Where do you think he'll be played?
Maybe mid support.
Do you think? Well, I think that this would have to be a champion that's going to hit 3 roles, like because
Okay.
two. There's going to be some flexes in both, and there's going to be more than that. Zillion's not bad. Like I think he could be played. He'll be played mid and support. I think totally will happen. I mean, he can't play jungle, so it'll be the other roles. I doubt we'd see. Like they could maybe do a Zillion Seraphine or sorry, Zillion Senna. But I would think that the support player would still be playing the Zillion, so it would still be listed as support in the role. If that's the way they're doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. I had to think about it.
Okay. Well, if you come up with one later, you can interrupt, and we'll go back to that one. But there's a lot of,
I can throw it in the Discord
or just like shout and interrupt us. That'd be totally fine.
yeah, at any point.
Yeah. Okay, so who will have the most total deaths at Worlds? So I went Nautilus on this one because I figured he'd have a high pick presence, and people are psychopaths when they play Nautilus, just like when they play Hook Champions. So, yeah, and it's a support, like, engaging. He's going to die in every team fight. And so far, I think that that's working out pretty well from the Nautilus picks, but Yeah. I'm assuming everyone put engaged supports. Fenrir, what'd you go with?
Oh, I actually have Neela,
Huh.
but I wanted to, I wanted to, I was trying to get home quickly so I could change it to a Moo, but I didn't make it back.
Okay. Gotcha.
But my first thought was Neela, but then I wanted to change it to a Moo.
I mean, Neela makes sense, I think, if she would have the play rate, but I also don't think she'll have the play rate to back it
Yeah.
up. Amumu, though, totally makes sense to me. Boma, what'd you go with?
I went with Leona. So my three were Nautilus, Amumu, and Leona, and I was like, who would be played the most? And I just thought maybe Leona would get played a little bit more than the other two. And I think she's been played all the games so far. So we'll have to see.
I can think of her in 2 of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, she has been played, and she'll continue to be played, I'm sure. So we'll see about that. Okay. John, what would you have put? Are you thinking the same sort of stuff that we were talking about?
Yeah, I'm realistically, I probably would have put Nautilus.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think so for sure. Okay, so let's go with I guess at this point, let's just say what our spiciest would be because we might go through it at some point. So, um, Fenrir, what was your spiciest pick then?
Me and RNG winning Worlds is probably my spiciest.
Okay, gotcha. That was what you said for your bold prediction last time as well, so that lines up.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Bomo, what about you?
I guess my spicy was the Sejuani, but I'll just say it. EG is getting out of Group A as first.
Okay, gotcha. You mean play in Group A, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the one of the crystal ball pick'ems. But yeah, I know. Spoiler alert. So just pause it for like 10 seconds. I did see the game. Did you guys all watch the game though? Let me just check.
I saw they've only played once
EG
so
Fnatic.
far, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that game. Yep.
Okay, you guys all saw it too, so I can tell you what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so even though EG lost to Fnatic, I feel like it was definitely winnable from the perspective. So that's why I have them coming out of Group A first. Still.
Sure.
And I still believe the hopium is real.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. My one, I'd say like I don't think any of mine were that crazy, but I'd say my spiciest would be which team from a region 2 with 2 seeds or less will advance the furthest through Worlds, and I put GAM Esports. I'm a huge VCS fan, and I want them to go far. So, yeah.
Is that really
go,
spicy
Levi.
if I have them too?
I mean, it's other than that. I mean, maybe my
I
other.
have it too.
Okay, so fine. Maybe my spicy one is the which team will win play in Group A. I put Beyond Gaming will win that.
Ooh, now that is spicy.
Okay, so because I don't believe in EG, and that's been discussed many times, and I thought that Fnatic wouldn't have Upset either, although Upset is playing. Hylissang is not playing on day 1. I thought they wouldn't have Upset or Hilly for half of play-ins or maybe more, so I thought that Beyond would go above that. That was what my thinking. But Fnatic looked real good even without Hilly, I'd say. Like I can't remember the Leona, the guy who played Leona, the support's name, but he was doing well.
Rux.
Yeah, he was good. So, yeah, okay. Cool, John. If you had to have made a spicy pick, do you have any idea what it would be?
EG making it.
Okay. Cool. All right, so let's go through the I guess the teams. We're already talking about teams because that's a lot what we did. So, Fenrir already said that RNG is winning Worlds, and if you want to hear his full explanation, you can go listen to 782, where he details about that. I assume you still hold the same opinions of why and everything from last week, right, Fenrir?
Yeah, I think it's even more solidified because it's moving towards the top lane.
Yeah.
from what we're seeing in the play-ins. So, and I think Breathe is insane. So,
Yep. Yep. And engaged supports are absolutely as strong as we thought they were. So that's Ming and Gala's do
Yep.
whole thing down there. Okay, sweet.
and Kaisa OP.
Yeah, for sure. Have we seen her in any games so far? She was in. Oh, she was in.
Two of the three that have been played.
I don't think she was in the first two. She wasn't in EG versus Fnatic, and she wasn't in the first game either. Because it was Caitlyn and, or maybe she was in that one. I thought it was Caitlyn and MF in the first one of Isurus versus Mad.
Eh,
I don't know if she's
super
in the
big,
current
I'd say.
one. I mean, I guess I can
She was.
look, but oh,
She was just in the Mad Lions game that they just played.
okay, gotcha.
I know that because not humanoid, Unforgiven just had like 14 kills.
Oh yeah, I saw a pop up on that screen because I have it just like set at the lowest quality settings, so it doesn't fuck up my internet at all for stream and everything. But yeah, I got the drop for he got a quadra kill apparently.
Yep.
So
So
okay,
she's been played twice
gotcha. Okay,
out of 4 games.
okay. Bomo, what'd you put for winning worlds?
Mr. Hide on Bush.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
You know what? I think the stars are aligning. Faker's gonna win his title and just be cemented fully as the GOAT of League of Legends, and I'll be happy. So that's my reasoning.
Okay, I like
A
it.
lot of my picks were just like hopium and copiums and storylines that I want to come true. So yeah, I just want Faker to win, and I think the young guys are actually have a lot to prove. I know they lost in the finals, so I think they're going to use that as motivation to come back stronger. They also lost MSI too, so I think I have a pretty good feeling that they'll like bounce back and like put in a lot of work and be really good coming into Worlds. So I have them winning.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, John, what team do you think will win worlds?
Or just kind of like making me more of a believer, honestly, in RNG because I've been watching Xiaohu too, and he's just absolutely insane. I like I like the way they play too. Like even just like watching them last Worlds, like I mean they take their chances. They're very solid on all the fundamentals. So I mean it's really hard to beat that when they're playing consistently well like that. I mean, and especially when you have a mid laner that's like gonna give you. I mean, he just eats pressure for breakfast. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he'll literally just crank out 11 CS a minute, eat any pressure thrown at him for breakfast, and then they just win the map, or he just can do whatever he needs to do. I mean, he's so good, and the top laner, like Remember was saying, I mean, they're just like mechanically insanely good, and then also their macro and just team play is exceptional.
yeah, I agree for
Because
sure.
I was just watching some old stuff, or like not old stuff, but like before Worlds.
Mhm.
And, I mean, it's just shocking, honestly, how
Yeah.
good it is.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I put top esports just because I feel like Senna is in a very good spot for people who can play Senna well to absolutely run over this meta right now, um, and be able to get out of laning phase and do well. So, and Jackie Love is one of the best Sennas I've ever seen. So, uh, in the ADC role, just like Reckless is an amazing Senna, but that's why I just feel like this is a perfect meta for Senna to be utilized, right? Okay. So which team? Next one will go. Which team will place first in Group A? We already said that. I said Beyond and just explained it a little bit ago. And I know a couple of you guys put EG. Did anyone not put EG? Nope. All three of you guys did. Okay. Cool. basically just because of Fnatic's health issues, and then EG being the next strongest in that group is what you guys are thinking.
Mhm.
Unanimous nods. Okay, sweet. This one I expect everyone to have the same answer. Which team will place first and play in Group B? Does anyone not think RNG will win that? No, we all agree. Okay, yeah, that's pretty open and shut. And it sounded like this one was also going to be the same. Which team from a region with two seeds or less will advance the furthest through Worlds? And then we put GAM as well, all three of us. John, would you agree that GAM Esports there, or is there a different pick you have?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd take game.
cool. All right, then this last one for teams. Which team will play the most different champions at Worlds? John, what do you think on that one?
The most different champions. T1.
Okay, I put the same thing. I also put T1.
I think it's a decent pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Faker can play everything. I mean,
Carrier can play
yeah,
everything.
carry play.
Owner
Maybe.
doesn't have the biggest champ pool, but he's adaptable to whatever the meta's going on. Guma can play everything as well. So Zeus, I mean, they'll limit top lane to not being too many picks, but he can play some funky stuff if he needs to as well. So yeah, what did Boma? What'd you put for this one?
RNG, just because I think they're gonna go far and they're playing the most amount of games, so they have a chance to play the most amount of champions.
Sure, Fenrir, what'd you put?
I put budget team 1, Cloud9.
But they're only gonna play 5 games.
No. It's going to be RNG C9 in the finals.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then maybe. I didn't. Yeah, I don't think C9 will get out of that group. But RNG, I get from you, Bomo, but I feel like their champ pools in bot lane and jungle are going to be a bit more restricted, so they won't like. Yes, they'll go further. They'll play the most games, but I don't think they'll embrace that much diversity, if that makes sense. Because they won't need to. It's like, oh, they're just going to run Kai'Sa Nautilus and just run over everyone in play-ins, and then it works for them. Like, that's fine. They don't need to bother with anything else because they just want to secure their way through.
I'm hoping that teams see what's happening and ban actual champions instead of just going with the meta and banning the strong stuff. So I don't know. It's weird how like there's like a meta for like actual champ select and like banning stuff. I don't know if it's just the scrims or what they're seeing, but it's like the same bans every time on red side essentially because you can't let this team have this specific champion because it's too strong first pick. But I would like to see a little bit more creativity with teams about letting certain power picks through and just maybe trading picks too. So like if you're banning 3 champions, why not just leave those 3 up? Have the other team take 1 and you take 2, right? So I never understood why that was never a thing that teams tried to do.
There was a lot of that I remember from playoffs of teams or they would just leave Yumi, Sivir, and Zeri up for if you're on red side, and then it's like, which one are you gonna pick? Or blue side would do that as well. It's like, okay, you're either gonna get, and then they first pick Yumi. It's like, okay, then you get to pick which ADC you want. But yeah, like throwing away bans is something that I don't know if it'll happen now, just because the meta seems so wide that it's like just get rid of whatever you think the other team is best at. But I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the players. So who will have the highest KDA at Worlds? This one seems like a total crapshoot to me, but Fenrir, what'd you put?
Gala. I think he's going to pad his stats and play-ins.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Bomo, what'd you put for this one?
Ruler.
Also very fair. I almost put Ruler for this. John, what would you have put for this one? Do you have someone in mind?
Berserker?
Yeah, not a bad idea. Even, I mean, yeah, he might have a really good KDA even if they don't get out of groups. That sounds totally fine. Okay. I put 369 just because I don't think he'll lose any top lane matchups. And he'll be on the side, so he's not going to be dying a lot like a support or a jungle would. And yeah, he's also just cracked. So I just put 369 there. Okay, who will play the most different champions at Worlds? So which player will? Boma, what'd you put for this one?
Chovy.
Okay. Okay.
I think his play style of just like being able to farm and just get super strong, I think is pretty good on a lot of champions.
Yeah.
And he's a strong laner in the sense that he just doesn't really die to specific ganks a lot of the time. So I think he's able to pull out a whole bunch of champions. I know he played a couple of champions in the top lane when some of their team had COVID and stuff like that. So I think he has a pretty wide champion pool. I also want to put Faker, but I think Faker's mainly settling into like that supportive mid lane role. So I don't know how much he's gonna go for a lot of the carry champions and like pop off that way. I think he's more of like a facilitator who can like um pretty much lead his team of how to play specifically. So he's more of like that support type mid laner now. So I don't
Yeah.
think he'll play a whole bunch like season 3, season 5 and 6 where he was just pulling out random stuff.
Yeah, the days of Riven mid are gone for sure.
Yeah, Riven mid, Gragas, Master Yi. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, he's basically just a better version of Niski in what they're trying to do.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Chovy, I'd say like I get what you're saying because they're gonna play a whole bunch of games, but he's not gonna play anything that's not a carry, and so that's why I think like he'll play Silas for sure. He'll play Azir. He'll play Victor. They might put him on Galio. He's an amazing Galio, though I don't think he would want to. He notoriously hates playing Zoe, and just like refuses to play it because he hates it. I don't know. Like I think like I don't know. We don't know if Rise is going to come back into the meta. He can play a whole bunch of shit, but I have a feeling he dominates. Like I want to play this, and he will like self restrict. There's no basis behind what I'm saying there, but I think so. But I get what you're saying because they're going to definitely make it out of groups and go a bit further. So, okay. I put Carria for this one just because I think T1 will make it out of groups. So they'll have more than 5 games to. He'll have more than 5 games to show off, or I guess 6 games it is to show off champ pools, and he plays so many different things. I think he played Sejuani in support, so maybe we'll get it CF from him. But he played stuff in the regular season, like he played Zillion down there. He played Yasuo down with Senna. He played all sorts of stuff. So he plays Lee Sin as well randomly. You might see a Lee Sin bot lane. Like I think he has the widest champ pool I've seen out of a support, even including Lehens. Lehens has his pocket picks, but carries is wider, I think. So that's my pick there. Fenrir, what'd you go with?
Berserker.
You put who?
Berserker.
Really? Why an ADC player?
Yeah, I think. So I think Berserker's champ pool is going to get pinched more than any player in group stage.
Okay.
I think every team that plays against them is just going to ban 80 carries because really C9 is going to play around him, whether it's a top meta or not, because he is the best player on their team.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
And he can play just about anything.
Yeah, he's disgusting. So I totally get that read. John, what do you think? Do you have an answer for this one? It's hard with the players to say on the spot, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think the ADC makes sense. Maybe Gala. I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, Gala is my answer for who will get at least 1 pentakill at Worlds. I think they'll be going far and the most games and probably get a pentakill at some point in play-ins. That's my guess. Fenrir is nodding. Did you also put Gala on this one?
I think Gala gets like 3 pentakills this year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Boma, what do you think?
I have Ruler.
Okay, I could totally see that. Yep. John, what do you think?
think Gallo. I would put Gallo.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, this one I feel like we might have some different answers. Who will get the most first blood kills at Worlds? Fenrir, what'd you put for this one?
Tion.
You put who?
Tion,
Oh,
the
Tien.
jungler for
Yeah.
top.
Right. I was like, oh, who's that again? Okay, cool. Tien. So why Tien?
I think it's a jungler that's going to be in this spot. I also think he's the best jungler in the world. He's not like the best mechanical jungler for sure. I mean, like you could probably pick 5 different junglers that are better mechanically than he is, but I think he just has the biggest brain in the world when it comes to how to jungle. The dude comes up with a new path like every game.
Okay. I could see that for sure. I agree. I think it's going to be a jungler. Boma, who'd you write down?
Way from RNG. So my thinking still applies. RNG is going to play the most amount of games, so they have the most chances for their jungler to get first blood.
Yeah, I put Wei as well for that exact reason. Yep. John, what would you put here?
Yeah, I think jungler makes a lot of sense. Let's say something different. Canyon.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that very well. I mean, if Canyon does well, Damwon generally does well. If he doesn't do all that well, Damwon doesn't do well. So I get that.
Yeah, if he's popping off.
Yeah. Okay. And then last one here. Who will get the most kills in a single game at Worlds? And we might have already seen it apparently, but because there's 14 kills on who was it that got it? Unforgiven?
Yeah, the ADC for Mad Lions.
Okay. Did anyone put Unforgiven in there? I was gonna say I'd be floored if they did. John, do you have a thought as to who would get the most kills in a single game at Worlds?
Mm.
We can come
I
back
don't
to you if you
know.
want to think.
Yeah,
We can
it's a
come back.
hard.
We'll come back
Yeah.
to you then. Boma, what'd you put down?
Viper from EDG.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think EDG will have some like smashes in their group, and they could like rack up a lot of kills and just fight, like constantly be fighting and just winning and just steamroll the other team.
Gotcha. Okay. Fenrir, what'd you go with?
369.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm
I think he's
surprised.
going to roll 9 every game.
I'm surprised the top laner there, but I guess if he just absolutely just destroys lane and roams around and get a whole bunch and carries team fights, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's better than every top laner in his group. And then I also think that the other 2 in the group are just good enough to put up fights against JDG. So the games will go a little longer. And so I can see him coming out of top lane with like 4 kills, 100 CS advantage, and just running over people.
Yeah, who's in their group again? It's
G2 and
Damwon.
LCK team.
Damwon, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then it'll be if Mad might slot in there as well, which also fits that if they get through, or Fnatic might slot in there. Okay. Gotcha. Cool. I put Ruler just because Gen G plays through bot lane, and I think that he might be the only person to play Zeri in this tournament, and they get through to a late game and get him on, a decent Zeri standing and go through. So, okay. Then the last 5 we got are for the event. I'm gonna go in the reverse order here. Whoa. Which Drake will be killed the most at Worlds? So this is a total crapshoot as well. John, what do you think on this one?
Extra Drake.
Okay, gotcha. And does anyone have any reasoning for this, or are we just saying Cloud? Are we just saying dragon names?
I have a reason.
Okay, gotcha. John, did you have a
Yeah.
reason for Hextech before moving on?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Fenrir, you had a reason. What is your pick, and what is the reason?
My pick is Cloud because 1, statistically, it is the most killed dragon, and 2, the reasoning is it's kind of a trash dragon, so teams try and get it out of the way as fast as possible.
Yeah, I getcha. I also picked Cloud, not because of that reason, just because of the LCK memes for the English commentator Atlas, who somehow brings Cloud Drakes into most games when he's casting. So there was like a hey, pick Cloud in support of Atlas thing, and so that's why I did it. Yeah, Bowman, what'd you go with?
Cloud.
Okay, why Cloud?
It's just I don't know why, but it's always a Cloud Drake, so it has to be.
What have the
the one that's
souls
killed the most.
been so far in the games we've seen? There's been Mountain twice, at least. I don't remember what the other ones were.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay,
Forgettable.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's my my personal bias. So if it's not a Cloud Drake, I don't care for it. But when I see a Cloud Drake, oh, it's a Cloud Drake.
There
That's
was
the one that they're killing right now.
there was a Hextech one as well, because there were some Hex Gates going on. So there's been Hextech and Mountain twice, I know, but I don't know what else, and I haven't seen whatever for what game is going on as well. So yeah. Okay, how many Baron Seals will there be at Worlds? There's 4 options for this. It was what 0 and like what 1 to 3 and 4 to 9, and then something like that, and then 9 plus.
It was 0, 1, 2, and 3 plus. Oh, Baron Steals.
Baron
I'm on the
Steals.
wrong one. I'm
Yeah.
on the wrong one.
Nope. I said I was going in the reverse order. You got to keep up, man.
Disregard.
Yeah, it was like there were 4 choices or so. I went with 9 plus just because there's going to be so many games and so many Barons, and Smite fights in a lot of the time recently, especially with play-in teams, are going to be it's going to be crapshoots. And then also later on in the tournament, there's going to be lots of like Baron Smite fights. So I don't see a world in which there's not a lot of Baron steals. So, Boma, what'd you go with? Did you also go 9 plus?
I actually went 6 to 8. I
Okay.
thought 9 plus was a trap, so I went one lower.
Okay. I don't think there's been any today yet, but I've only watched 2.5 or 3 games. So, okay. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 6 to 8. I don't think 10 plus.
Okay. Fenrir?
It's at 3 to 5.
Wow.
It's the only
Okay.
teams that throw Baron as T1.
That's true. All right, I get there's nothing to do, we just we killed a ward. All right, let's fucking flip Baron. Let's do it. That's
I swear, T1, it's like 25 minutes, and they're like, if they're not raffle stomping, they're like, let's just go flip Baron. I'm tired of playing this game.
yeah. All right. All right. What will be the duration of the longest single game at Worlds? So the 4 choices for this were, I think it was less than 40 minutes, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, and 55 plus. Bomo, what'd you go with?
50 to 54. I could see some maybe 2 playing teams just duking it out and nothing gets accomplished because the waves aren't properly set up, so you can't get a push. But I don't think I've ever seen a game go longer than 55 minutes on this patch or like this season actually. So I feel like the 55 plus was a bait, but I could see a potential like 49 creeping into like 51 when the Nexus dies type of situation. But that is
Gotcha.
also a very long game now that I think about it. So maybe it's not the correct call.
Well, call me baited because I did 55 plus. I could there were several games in the LCK I can remember that went over an hour this year. So like I could totally see it happening if there's a quarterfinal draw between like Genji and Damwon or something like that. There might be a game that goes super long, 3 elders and barons and them just like not. Yeah. I could totally see just all sorts of shenanigans happening. But I could also, like you're saying, see just 2 play-ins teams in one of their series just not feeling confident enough to go for it. Like, oh, we got the Elder, and now we've like stabilized. But Elder's almost gone. Okay, let's not throw the game over it. And because everyone gets so skittish at that point in the game, because if you win a decisive team fight, generally you're going to be able to win the game. So, yeah, okay. Fenrir, what'd you put? Did you fall for the bait according to Bomo?
Nah, I'm with Momo. 50 to 54.
Okay. Gotcha. John, what would you go for this one?
I said 45 to 50.
45 to 50. Okay.
I actually think that's more reasonable now that I think about it more because
Thanks, Bomo. I appreciate that.
Well, I was baited. Let's see. This next one, how many pentakills will there be at Worlds? I put 3 plus. Fenrir, you already said that you put 3 plus as well. Yeah. Well, I figured because you said that you think there's going to be like over 5 or 6, so I figured you put 3 plus.
Yeah, but actually, I was listening to what was I listening to today? I can't remember the podcast. There's actually never been a Worlds where there's been more than 2 Pentas.
There's also never been a Worlds where Zeri was available though.
Yeah,
So
but I don't think she's gonna get played.
really, I think she'll be picked.
Yeah.
But okay, gotcha. Boma, what'd you put here?
I have 2.
Okay.
So yeah, because like honestly, it's really hard to just even get a pentakill because a lot of times teams don't stay for the fight. So if it's lost, then they start trying to back out, And so it feels really rare. It's not like solo queue where you can get a pentakill pretty easily. So that's why I went with 2. But maybe it should have been 3. I don't know. 3 plus sounds better, honestly. Like with all the cracked ADCs there are this season
Yeah.
in Worlds, I feel like they're just gonna be maybe pentakills left and right. So maybe I have it wrong, but I have 2 that's locked in.
I think Gala will get 2 before play-ins are over, personally. So I had to go 3
Here's my
plus.
reasoning for saying 3 plus. I really think he's gonna get 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yep. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 3 plus. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be the Wild West out there.
Yeah.
But do you think his team's gonna give him a pentakill? That's the thing, right?
He won't. No, he
Oh,
won't
yeah.
need it because he'll earn it. It's like they'll, I think like they'll be playing bruisers or something or tanks and stuff and facilitating him playing Kaisa, just like mowing down everyone.
I can see like an ignite tick not going in the favor of Gala, and he just gets a quadra type of situation.
Yeah, I could see that too. I wonder what happened with Unforgiven only getting a quadra. I'll need to watch that, but yeah.
I'll put a pick.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so the last one is how many reverse sweeps will there be at Worlds? It's out of 11 total best of 5s that will happen. I don't remember what the options were here. I mean, it was 0, 1, 2, and something else.
It was 0, 1, 2, 3 plus.
Okay. What'd you guys go with here? Fenrir, what'd you go with?
2.
Okay. I also have 2.
I feel like this year I wanted to go 3 plus. Honestly, it feels like every region has had an insane amount of BO5s for 1 and 2. The reverse sweeps have been kind of crazy as well.
Yeah, it definitely. There were so many. It feels like everyone believes that they can. Yeah.
I'm in
Okay.
that boat. I picked 3 plus because just based on all of the regions, all the reverse sweeps that have happened are kind of insane. So it feels like almost every series was reverse sweep. So that's where I'm thinking 3 plus.
Gotcha. Okay. John, what do you think?
I had 2 in mind.
Okay.
I think I would have put 2.
Yeah, I'd say like yeah, there were reverse sweeps so much in playoffs, and I could see it happening. I think it'll either be that like I put 2 because I kind of wimped out. I think there'll either be none or it'll be like 5 or 6 of them or something. Like they'll just see a lot of them. I put 2. You know how people when they're doing predictions like, oh, I think they'll win 3-1. It's like, well, just pick a side at that point. They're either gonna 3-2 or 3-0 it. I feel like I kind of sat on the fence on this one a little bit, but yeah. Okay.
G play ADG, they'll get reverse swept. So there's 1.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, those were the crystal ball stuff. I mean, of the games that we've been able to see so far. Okay, hold on. What's been happening with the production issues? We have to talk about that for a little bit because the first game I know was supposed to start at 3 Central Time, and so 4 Eastern, and it ended up starting at what, like 3:45 or so, like 45 minutes late. Like, what happened? Does anyone know?
They were
Was that-
saying
Yeah, go ahead, Momo. You go.
they were saying since some of the players and coaches are in quarantine, they have to be remote in like a separate room, and they were having issues with like coaches and players not being able to see like the draft and whatnot in the lobbies. I don't know really what that means. Like, why can't you just be in client and see it? Maybe it's a client issue.
I think it's a custom issue, like, cause they open it up like they're in customs on the client, and I'm guessing since
Yeah.
custom games are so fucked up and that code is so destroyed, then that's probably what was going wrong.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
it
think
was a
some
whole
of the
separate
observers.
client.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know they
There's
use
a
a
different
separate one.
client.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
because that's
Yeah,
how they
because
keep
it's
that's how they keep the patch.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then also like another problem was they couldn't get computers into the rooms that were working properly because the computers that are Riot sanctioned have a whole bunch of like anti-cheat software, and they like watch movements of players and stuff while they're playing.
Oh, interesting.
And then they were having a hard time getting the ones from the teams that had just played into the new quarantine rooms.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think
And
there's
then
been.
the production teams in LA while they're in Mexico City.
Oh, I figured they were all in Mexico.
Uh,
Oh, I thought the
like Captain
production.
Flowers and them, they're in like the casters and stuff. They're
Mhm.
all in LA.
Oh, I thought everyone was moving like to each of the different grounds. Okay, so they're just gonna be in LA the whole time for this Worlds.
I don't know unless Captain Flowers misspoke, but he said over here in LA because he
Hmm.
was talking to the guy that does LCK or LPL casting, I think.
Yeah, that guy, the middle analyst that was on, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember his name.
I don't either. I know who you're talking about though. He's he's one of the analysts for LPL. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. It might be Dagda, or Dagda might be no. Dagda's a different one. Dagda's the Irish guy. I can't remember what his name is right now, but okay.
Here, actually, I can tell you.
Yeah, the wonder of technology. If only there was a place we could go to look up information.
Well, now I screenshotted all of the casting talent.
Oh, they did tweet out like
Twitter.
everyone. Yeah.
Yep.
Was it Munchables? Maybe no. It might be.
Gold, Goldborg. Yeah, Goldborg. Goldborg. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one then.
Never heard of them. Sorry. Sorry to Goldborg, but I have no idea who you are. He has no idea who I am either, so it's fine.
That's fair. Yeah, he's not gonna be offended. He has no idea who the fuck we are. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. What have you guys thought of play so far today of the games we've been able to see?
I think the minor region teams have stepped up a lot. I mean, I know they're still really sloppy, but I don't know. Their play looks way better than any other year I've seen.
Agreed. It's
Yeah,
been
I
it's
also
been good.
agree.
Yep. I think like Isurus was surprisingly good. I also thought that Mad played just as expected. I didn't think they'd be that good, but Isurus played super well so far. Beyond was great. I think we kind of expected Beyond to be a bit above the rest of the minor region playing talent, but I thought Beyond played better than EG in their game. Quite honestly, I mean, granted they haven't played against the same foe, but yeah, I know Chiefs are playing right now, and I want to see how they're doing because they're maybe they probably have potentially the lowest floor of anyone because it is OS. What'd you guys think of the Loud and what Istanbul game, or who did Loud play?
I played Beyond.
Oh yeah, they got smashed.
Yeah.
That was my Azir loss.
Yeah. Loud. I mean, Loud looked good until the team fight around the blue buff, and then their AD carry that was playing Senna just whiffed the Senna ult. If he held the Senna ult, I think that fight would have been completely different.
Yeah. Plus there was the was that the Jackson Fiora game as well?
I think so.
Yeah, and then the
I don't
Fiora
know.
the
LOL
Fiora
esports is bugged, so I can't
oh.
look at.
Well, the Fiora healing in that team fight was it was around
Yeah.
blue buff. Yeah. That Fiora healing was absolutely what turned that fight around. It was so crazy.
Yeah. It negated the Seraphine heal,
Mhm.
basically, because she just healed more than the Seraphine was healing her team.
Yep. Yeah. But okay. Anything else we want to talk about with Worlds, guys, or we could wrap it up on a shorter one here so we can all get back to watching the games.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, this has been episode 783. Tune into Worlds if you haven't or wasn't aware or weren't aware that this was happening. But yeah, and just to reiterate from the beginning, and our new question of the week is, what is your spiciest crystal ball pick'em? And so we went through some of ours, and we'd love to hear about yours, and we'll talk about them the next couple podcasts. So yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave us some feedback in the feedback thread of the Discord, or email us at questions@trinityforcepodcast.com. We always love engaging and hearing from the community. Please check out our Patreon, where you can find a whole slew of different potential benefits at different levels. And there's, as a reminder, community nights are Tuesdays at 7:15 Eastern. And maybe for some of the community nights coming up, we might just have chill and have some watch parties for Worlds games. Because oh no, those won't be going on because it's like Thursday through Sunday or Monday or so. I don't think they'll have any games on Tuesdays. Maybe they will in the future, but um, yeah. But community game night's a lot of fun. Please come join. Um, Thank you everyone for tuning in, and enjoy Worlds.
See ya.